Hello? It is time. Okay. Where was I at? Let me just step through, I guess, and see. Prepare custom joint. I was changing the name of that. That's resource. Prepare chain custom joints. For chain? Physical bone part. That's just a push warning. Has custom resources enabled? I took that warning out of here and put it there. Okay, I think I make the assumption that this is always... Am I sure? It is a prepare... All loading happens at startup. This prepare is specifically to allow user code to connect a resource to a custom joint, is what this is. So this would come down here. This is checking for errors. Return true. Should just be a continue. Part to resource custom enabled. Custom joint call. I think this doesn't happen here. It's not a thing. This should be all the way out here. The intention is that you're definitely giving you're definitely doing this. And then this warning is instead going to be an error here. at here. Hold. That. Okay. We go with the chain. Not find a chain. Chain's not valid. I think I could just probably cut this. Cut that there. Let's say consider rebuilding the chain. And do return chain. Yeah, I'm gonna say connect. Chain connect custom signals. No, I think... Yeah, let me actually say like... Prepare custom joints. I don't think it needs... they need... I'll find out what I need later. Oh man. Prepare custom joints. Prepare custom joints. I don't know. Just a joint and its resource. Yeah, I feel like from there that should be all it really needs. Part and partless if it's not valid. Should just do that. If there's no custom resource, skip. And then if that fails, I push an error. In fact, I don't think there's any reason to do this. Yeah, I think it's not really relevant to do that there. Just stop there. Prepare custom joints. And I don't think load apart is ever called anywhere. Yeah. So I'm just gonna delete that. Prepare custom joints. We go through all of our joints, ignoring the first one because The first one will not be custom. I get its resource index. If it's greater than that, then this is a problem. It's a little bit out of order. Some joint letter called with the joint and then the custom resource. Okay. That's the custom loader in. Okay, so prepare is there. Prepare is there. Okay. The joint building. So I've still got more here to do. There's a lot of things to do. Build joints, I think, are very specific for joints. Anyway, that was a phrase. Build chain. I'm more interested in getting the build chain to run, so I create one of these. I have the physics here. I'm gonna have everything run on this, so it needs to have its this stuff, and then I also have to give it the shape. I have to make a physics shape. It should be Node 3D, right? It's a resource. Collision shape 3D. Whoops. No, 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 no. Do not run. Shape will be equal to the... I should have... Oh. I guess I actually do leave that. Yeah, I only have to give this... I should only be giving it things that I definitely know it can't do itself. So these things definitely work there. I built the part. And then this would have to add it as a... This would have to do add child. Also, parent body, I forgot to do. Or not really forgot, it just hasn't. Okay. I'll start with the physics. Physics material. I guess I only... I think I just give it no matter what. Because it could be null. And then continuous CD. Layer. Alright, that's all been handled with the collider. And then I would just... I can store node paths. So I can add the child and get a path to that node. Or I can just give it a name that I expect it to have. Or I can use the metadata stuff so I know it's mine. I think the metadata is probably the best way to go. Essentially, it'll be such that in the load, when I get into like resource synchronization, I will just scan through all the children and look for specific metadata. So I'm looking for a collision shape 3D node with metadata that says it's mine. And then that's the one that I modify. I look for the... I mean, I already kind of do this one because I set the meta on it. So I guess I should go ahead and start by doing that. I can put it in later. I can put it. I mean, the only real thing that this is doing is just doing this. I don't know what else a collider needs. It's really just nothing. Resource break enabled. use signal. Signal is later. I could make these methods. I don't think I should do that. I don't think I should do that. Okay, but then the angular limits, so I have to copy in all of the angular limits. Okay, I guess here's part of it. Here's what I think. I think most of this should just be the construction of everything, setting specific metadata that I need to track it. And then there's a piece that just copies all the values in, because that part I'm going to just reuse a lot. And maybe I have like an everything flag. So I can make the method just be the callback for like setting changed. But then I think that would actually probably fit better as a map. I would say this name corresponds to this property. I don't really know how to figure that out though. It doesn't have to be performant either because it's a signal. So it's only when I actually change something that it will happen. Reload part. Yeah, reload part needs to... Should it set up signals? Does it need to copy things from resource? I don't know. Maybe it's just like... I think I just have a method that's like connect signals. And it takes the current resource and connects it. Like if the resource changes as well. Though the resource shouldn't be allowed to change. Yeah, the resource should only be set once and it should always be there. That's why I set this up. So when I'm ready, I can just do reload part. If we are valid, I'll do a method that's like connect. Connect resource. Yeah, because there's a bit of like boilerplate code around that I really wish Godot just had built in. Yeah, I think stuff like this... I probably should have a method that's like apply resource, and it runs through every single thing and sets it. But it would be nice for it to double as a method that is also just connected to the resource. The setting changed signal, which provides a string name of the property that was changed. And it's all of them. These ones don't, though, which they should. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I just feel like I'm second guessing it sometimes. I gotta move. No, resource should only happen one time on load. And when it builds, actually. Okay. It is also part of the build. I'm not even gonna bother checking that. Be empty. And then the idea here is that I just kind of put everything in here. Then I call the method, connect it, and then call it. And so that's where I will have everything going. I add main joint, I call reload. No. Is valid? What is... No. Reload part should do this also. Where do I get yeah, I don't have this one set for some reason. Hi, Yulia. Yeah, I forget to set it. Xbox shut down 4 studios yesterday. Huh. Was Halo Studios one of those? I wish. Yeah. A little bit. A lot, actually. They just gotta... They gotta make that its own thing. I feel like I just can't imagine that Halo is, like, genuinely profitable. At this point, I can't imagine it. I think they've been burning money ever since, like, Halo 4. By its own thing, I mean, they should not have been able to survive like 4 and 5, I think. I think after 4 and 5 came out, they should have been like bankruptcy territory. And then the Halo TV show, I'm sure that also failed instantly. They got a lot of money because people were just watching it to see what it was, and then people were like, well, I don't care about that. And then it failed. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that they are... Something about, like, we need to face reality that we are failing as a business kind of thing. And then I feel like they probably asked the question, what's the safest thing we could possibly make? Remake CE, the first game. And then I think that one's just not going to sell well. I'm definitely not. I'm going to avoid any engagement at all. I don't want a single view to go to a YouTuber playing that game. I don't think so. I want them to know that people don't care about it. All right, I'm gonna try to focus. All right. So the idea of a resource modified is it's going to see the setting has changed. These are supposed to be emitting after they've been set. And these ones might be kind of easy because I could just do like set. But then I have the issue of a collider shape being more difficult. I mean, I guess it's not so difficult. What if instead of a signal, it was like a bound method? That doesn't really work. Because this could be many to one. And if I set something on here, then it becomes one to one. One to many, I mean. This is one to many. If I set something on here, it becomes one to one. Or one to whoever used it last. So it has to be a signal. However, I could still have the function exist and I just call the function with myself, and that's definitely like a big roundabout way of doing it though. I would have to have it load in the collider shape. So this needs to load the collider on reload. Reload part now looks for this. And then I just look for I don't know, do I have extra shapes? If I were to do that, then I think I should just have an array of shape. But then every single one of these shapes needs to have some kind of offset. Oh, and in fact, that's actually a thing that I'm missing here. This needs to have a shape offset. $60 stream streak. Nuts. I feel like I haven't been here for 60 streams. I don't know what that means. Does it need to have a rotation? I guess it does. Yeah, it has to be a full transform 3D. I had to hit enter 3 times there to get to a new line. They gotta fix this. I made the inventory thing pretty happy with it. It was annoying. Cool. What was annoying about it though? Yeah, I think, okay, this is like a weird way to do it, but I think what I really want to have is a loop back. Do I want it to loop back? Do I really want it to loop back? Because if I have a map of things, no. I'll just go back here. I wasn't quite getting how things talk to each other. All right. Signals. I have to get the collider. For multiple collider, right, okay. Open this. Wait, that's actually like really silly. Hang on. I guess I'm not going to make it a transform 3D. It's going to be a bit easier to work with there. And maybe I make this a subgroup. And then how does that organize now? Okay, cool. It just put it right there. That's great. Oy. Maybe I say like collider instead. Yeah, I kind of want to reorganize this. And in fact, I think it actually all just goes into collision, doesn't it? Nah. I need to change the other thing to be like layers. The trick so is nothing talks to each other directly. This goes here. Okay, layers, collision shape, and the shape is gone. Okay. I think it's a, yeah, it's a quick load. And those would have offsets. I'm out to have fun. All right. I'll try. Okay, so a bunch of resource stuff changed. Resource. Collider shape. I think I can just set it like this because this is like an implicit thing. But every time I write that, then I'm like, oh, I don't really want the implicit thing. Epic Games is hiring new employees for Linux anti-cheat. I still say there's like statistics purely from like a server standpoint that you can run to catch cheaters. You don't need anything on the computer. And in fact, I would say that's going to end up being more accurate than computer stuff, because now you have to deal with maintaining a whole like, oh, there's this edge case where we can't know that this program is running, or oh, this program is like has been like modified, and it looks like a safe program, but it's been modified to be a cheat engine program. So now we need to handle that case, kind of thing. Purely server side, no load time interruptions, no I mean, yeah, like, in fact, I still think most cheat detection just totally bypasses hardware stuff anyway. You're still just looking to see if someone's snapping onto a head at across the map, and or if they're continuously looking at people through walls and tracking people through walls. It's like, it's ridiculous. Because it's always the same thing. It's like, you think you're playing a cheater because something is happening that you're seeing in the game. You're not like wired into the computer or seeing anything. You're like, okay, something is happening and this guy's just way too good. You could basically just have like a person sitting there and reviewing it. You don't even need like any software. Just have a person watch it. Have some people watch their gameplay. Good players are cheaters. I mean, I say way too good. As in, you're in a game and you're being headshot across the map as soon as you cross a corner. Consistently. Someone never misses. Game ends, scoreboard. 100 kills, and then the next highest kill count is like 5. Any player better than makes a cheater. Yeah, I didn't say that. Death counts. 10s down the line. This guy hasn't died a single time. That was just that simple. You can tell. I mean, it catches everything. If you can watch the perspective of a cheater, you'll see it. There's cases where games, the format of the game is really difficult to know if you're playing against a cheater. Especially if there's a lot. Like Tarkov. It's really hard to know if you're playing against a cheater because the game is just over and you're gone. Like a tracker, isn't that what they were already doing? I'm saying if you have someone watch gameplay of a cheater, they're gonna see it. Like, it could really be someone who's played the game for not very long either. How about 1 million players? So, Steam has, or VAC has, I forgot what they called it. But players who like reach a certain rank and have enough hours in the game and have a lot of play time and probably have been like reviewed before or like been reported before and like they've been cleared through its own system. some, I don't know how you get into it. And I still can't remember what it's called. But that's like literally catching cheaters. And usually it's really obvious. Like you could just have that. Should be like, hey, random player with this much playtime, please review 5 minutes of gameplay. And tell us if you think the guy's cheating. You can't track everything with this. Here's what I'm saying. If someone is cheating, you can see it from the gameplay. Period. That's it. That's literally it. And you can get everyone. There's even stuff where someone just reported enough times, they get put on high priority and you can't play a game until someone has viewed your stuff. Until you've been cleared. I mean, you need to have a good report system when that can't just be abused. You know, it's not like 5 reports from everyone on a certain team and your account's locked. I think a really good, just like a simple system is like an algorithm very close to how YouTube can recommend you content. You have like a recommended report system. If certain people are reporting and those accounts are found to be abusive and get like handled by like a super admin, those guys become like trusted reporters inherently in the system. Not one person can influence anything, but it's like, okay, these like 10 people who are regularly providing, when they agree, it's a very high quality report. It's like almost certain kind of thing. Like there's not even anything complicated. That's not like AI stuff. It's not even neural networks. It's just like it's literally an identical thing to a recommendation system. Hey, these two guys really enjoyed this video and they tend to agree with these other guys. This must be a high quality recommendation. Exactly the same way. We found that whenever these players are agreeing, it's almost positive that's a good report, and we can just fast track that and maybe sometimes even just ignore it. Or not ignore it, but like handle it automatically. Kind of thing. Like a cheater probably gets through, can probably, if they are significantly affecting games to the point that people are suspicious, they will start getting reported. And then a very simple, hey, we've got 10 agreements. Let's just lock the account, kind of thing. Preferably on different games too. If it's on different games, it's like times 10 to whatever evaluation function it is. But of course, that doesn't really work on games like Tarkov, where the expectation is you're either hiding the whole game, or you just die instantly because you can't report those guys. That would be a case of the server having information that players don't have to say, hey, these guys are tracking a play style that we have flagged as being correlated to cheating. Send it to a person to review. oh, these guys are really high quality reporters and they all agree, it's probably a cheater kind of thing. And even then, it's like, I think that kind of reporting system is better than any automated system because at the end of the day, it's always a person saying yes or no. I feel like if people are agreeing that someone is just suspicious at like no matter what, and they're all, unbiased, no name tags, they're from people with different games, like there's almost no way that these guys are even communicating with each other. Straight up anonymous jury. People randomly plucked from the population. It's like, I don't think you can disagree with that. You can't argue against it. You can't say it's invalid. And then you're gonna have people who are like consistently cheaters and they're like popular and they're just complaining that they swear they're not cheating. But it doesn't make sense. So it's like, okay, well, you're just like a pathological liar. Guys, I swear I perform these frame perfect inputs non-stop for 10 continuous seconds. I was not using a tool. Guys, I swear that I'm just like at the the 100th percentile of people who are surviving Tarkov games and never being snuck up on. Never getting shot from behind. Never happened to me. Because I'm just that good at the game. I'm always facing the direction of the closest player. I can just smell them through my monitor. And also, like, there's certain cheats that there was that Battlefield clip that if there was any intelligent server running process, this guy would have been banned after a single game, probably in the middle of the game. Like, literally in the middle of the game, you'd be getting banned if you were just blatantly aim hacking like that. Because, I mean, it's just all statistics. Like, there's the best human in the world, and then there's a computer. The computer is going to blow the best human in the world out of the water every time. And it's not even going to be close. It's like, here's the trend line of, like, performance of like, the top players. Here's the trend line of the cheater. Boom! Like, instantly at the max. Right? Like, there's no... You're not real. You're not a real person. You're performing better than any human has ever performed in history by, like, 100 times. It could be seconds. You could turn on... In fact, you could probably, like... I think the statistical accuracy could probably be, like, 5 kills. You could know after 5 kills if someone is running a cheat in a multiplayer game. Those 5 kills could happen in a quarter of a second, or they could happen over an hour. Five kills in an hour, they're continuously doing things that are just suspicious. 5 kills in a quarter of a second, I mean, that's, either you have like a crazy lineup or you just inputted stuff with accuracy and precision that people are not capable of. I think I'm totally lost on all this, honestly. I feel like I've created a mess. I have an expensive mouse. Expansive mouse. I mean, it's not you. It's definitely like I'm having focus problems. I'm also having problems just being engaged with this thing that I'm working on. I genuinely get about 10 lines of code in, and then I'm just looking for anything else to do. Losing my train of thought constantly. Not even due to an interruption, I'm just like thinking and then I just drop the thought. Is there anything that I could do instead? Maybe it's an organizational problem. I don't precisely know what I'm doing and I'm just kind of like freeballing it. Whoops. I'm gonna say this should probably be like build custom joints instead, because that's what all this is for. There's only like one line of code. There's only like this bit up here. That's for the main joint. So I'm gonna call this build custom joints. And I will handle all of this too. And maybe I should just say build custom joint. Is literally just to call configure joint or whatever it is. Just call that on each of these. No, I can just leave it be the for loop. I've replied to my loved ones for days. Internet age of everything is video is giving me ADHD. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't check my phone. I check my phone like twice a day. I just checked it now just to be sure. Maybe in the morning when I hit the timer, and then maybe at night. So like maybe once a day I'll check my phone. Yeah, okay. I think I would like this to be a loop. And then I would do these things. I mean, it kind of looks like I'm just throwing it in there. Yeah, so I'm actually just going to throw it in there. Though I guess the purpose of the function was to pull some of this out, but it's only a couple indentations. Where are the arrows? Nothing. Hello, Ewo on site. Feel like, yeah, this stuff should just not be in here. This has to go to like resource modified. Bone joint is that. So I have to do the actual joint itself. I think set meta with null clears it. Or remove meta. What's vibing? Are you vibe? No. No. None of that. I'm writing all of it myself. This needs to go down here. Somehow. Thanks for following Hard Cannon. No vibes. No LLMs are writing code for me. What is all that? All right. These would be collider. Amount of people made vibes. I'm 26. Yeah, I agree with that. If I even understand what you're saying. Maybe I don't. Just reload parts still has to get this, which is here. I guess I'm just doing... I don't know how I want to handle multiple stuff. Like AI gave me new meaning to the word vibes. Yeah, I guess so. I just remember like vibe check. That's what I remember. The last thing about vibes that I remember. Okay, I think I'm going to say there should only be one collision shape. There should only be children, so... I can't just... Okay. There. Custom joints, collision shape, the main joint. There's nothing else. Signal. Or about that later. Should I even... Are there enough things that it matters? Let's change that. what you came about is open source. It is. It's... You have guns, you're going to be shooting robot creatures, and at the end of the game, you're going to blow up a planet. That's the pitch. This one can just go to there. Bone joint and then bone joint data. Can you go back and edit later? How would you rather have it set up? If you haven't set how to set that part up yet. What are you talking about? Edit what? Just so I cannot have that. Mention if you had want to child something or not. I was saying like the number of collision shapes for the rigid body. I'm deciding that there's only going to need to be one. At least for the moment. I don't know why I would have more than one. And if I want to make it more than one, then it's not going to be difficult for me to do that. It's more just saying like I don't need to set it up if I don't think I'm going to use it yet. Later. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna write everything out. I wish these weren't custom functions like this and I could just write a loop out. Just be like set flag 0. Bang. Now I can write a loop. Because they went with that, I have to write all of it out manually, every single line. Starting out, so that's the kind of cautious approach I've been using if I set things up. To use any plugins. The only thing I've got is guide input handling. Linear limit. Linear lower limit. Upper limit. That's angular. Actually, I kind of... I don't. I could add it. Wait a second. I wrote a method. Though I didn't make it for angular limit. Alright, today's compile day. I'm doing it just so I can avoid a couple... Well, I can't because I want... Never mind, I can't. Never mind. But I do need to update that. I do need to update that. I'm on 5. All they had to do was make it not be set. I mean, like, okay, please. I write a function. I copy paste that function 3 times, and I change a single letter in the name of the function. Maybe just make one function and have it be an index parameter. And now I don't have to copy paste 20 lines of code over and over and over again. Like, have we tried using this API? Did they try using it? They give it a test run. They're like, yeah, that's just what programming is. Repeating 9 lines with a single letter change between all of them. And then I'm going to repeat that again. And it's going to be angular in the middle. This is what production-ready code looks like. Why are you not happy about that? What's wrong? Linear, angular. Well, I could read. Why did it not undo that one thing? You plan new Overwatch today? I'm probably not. KMN Champions update. Pokemon. Okay. Do you want to explain that if you want one more time? Yeah, sure. How many lines of code before you need an abstraction? Is 18 lines of code enough? "18 duplicated lines of code." How about joint limit? Index. Linear or angular? I'm copying over the wrong things. I've got the best API right here. Set flag. The index. In fact, I think it's actually like axis something. Someone has like, I don't know. I mean, it could just, instead of having all this, it could just have, I don't know, I'll write it out. If they really wanted it. Axis X. generic angular limit. Actually, it'd be angular, and then it'll be limit, and I'll just provide both values, actually. Why not? Or if I really want just one. And at this point, I can have a loop just plow through that, the single line of code. I would have 2 lines. Or I guess I would probably have 3 lines. I have to set the flag and set both parameters individually, but then it would just be 3 lines, and it would just have a loop that goes through all of these combinations. And then I could figure out on my side how I'm going to provide that information. For me, it's easy because I can look these up with strings, so I can create a string that just matches this. I mean, I feel like you just have to be a crazy person to write these. To write 6 functions, set flag X, Y, and Z individually, and then set parameter X, Y, and Z individually. Look at that and just think, that's an API. And then I even hated it so much that I wrote just a method that does, for the engine, set linear limit, and I provide 2 vectors. A single function replaces 6 lines of code. A single function can replace 6 lines of code. They could even do that. If they really wanted the crazy ass API, they could keep that, and then they could just have this sitting on top of it. I've just got a love-hate with Godot. I love the whole concept, and I hate some of the programmers' decisions. I think they should probably just be taken away from their computer and, like, spray cold water on their face. Maybe wake them up a little bit. What are you freaking out about? Yeah, so resource modified, that's all of those, and then I have the addition of motor. I have to... Wouldn't you like to know? Yeah. Just carrying out if you need... Okay, sure. I'm sure I do that well enough when I flip out. On the state of Godot. Why does it expand everything? Can we keep that collapsed? See, Godot remembers which one of these I have collapsed and not, right? I close physics, I open it back up, collision shape is still expanded, but layers is not. I flip it around, it remembers. Why don't they just copy that for code sections here? I think usually any IDE does that. And sometimes I find it a little bit annoying because they don't provide a way to force expand everything. Sometimes I want to do that. But they've got that over here. Oh, and then in the scene, they remember that as well. But the scene is where they actually allow you to force and expand, but they don't even make it obvious that that's what this does. This will expand everything all the way if you click that. Motors. The motor happens. That's a runtime enable, so I don't mess with that. But the motor is specifically related to IK. So IK has to be on. And then I can start setting up motors. And the motor axis that I use is the rotation axis. And then that's kind of it. Does this have... Why is this one not updating? Was it not set up yet when I did that? It's not updating. I need to have a scene open for that to happen. Oh, I have to enable that. Right. Okay. To turn on the button that does that for me. Okay, so if resource IK enabled, otherwise I'm going to... Do I say disable all motors? Yeah, I think so. How would I set it up if I specifically want a joint motor to stay active, though? But let me just say if it's enabled. I just don't want it to be like left over where I've changed. I turn on the motor and then I change it. And now things are weird. Okay, well, I'm actually not modifying whether or not the motor is enabled here anyway. Yeah, actually, I think literally all I'm doing is I'm setting the torque limits. Yeah, I'm actually just figuring out which motor it is, and then setting torque on it. And then for the other ones, I turn them off, or I reset those. Actually, no, I think I don't mess with that at all. No, hang on. Okay, resource modified. Is motor... I think I say set the false motor disabled or destroyed. I think I say is using. If that's true, I set it to the powered one. If it's not, then okay, no, it has to be both things. It has to be these two in combination. But it's kind of wrong. I think that's just going to be handled by updates, really. I don't think I mess with that at all there. This is probably going to be an update thing. Because otherwise I'd have to write in both in two places, and then I don't really want it to be in this place because this is not supposed to be there. Okay. If we're not destroyed, we update. If we should break, we destroy. And we'll do is using power will be if the motor is turned on. So I check. I guess I check if any of the motors are on. Yeah, this one's terrible. I'm only looking at angle motor. I guess I could only look at. I guess I just wonder. Am I going to have a setup where I've built the chain and I go into that joint and I specifically enable a different motor? I guess I should work under the assumption that that's possible. But then I'd be deleting the joint, so... I do queue free. I should know this. Oh. Okay. I don't know what that was. If it's breakable, and it should break. Would break in true using power false. Otherwise, I set using power to be true. And reconnected. So what's... Okay. If I'm using power... Um, set I can't remember what this is. Linear drive XYZ. Okay. Linear drive. I don't know which one it is. Of course. So, I guess it's. I'm just gonna set all of them. I think. And then I can't write that because then the helper just breaks. It doesn't know what I'm trying to get. Drive. Torque limit. If using power. Oh, hang on.